Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the EV Weekly Wrap. My name is Roland and this is essentially the week's roundup of all EV news in Australia and I guess a bit further, sometimes around the world and potentially whatever's going to come here. So you can see on the top right and all the way around, those are the brands or the manufacturers that we are covering off today. So let's get straight into it. So first things first, I wanted to give a big shout out again to ZEEKR. So guys, ZEEKR's flagship store in Sydney City, which is located in Waterloo, which is I guess a bit south of the CBD, has opened. It's now open to the public. I was fortunately invited to the opening night, or the soft opening, I guess you'd call it. So it's open now to the public. Make sure you go down, you check it out. They've actually got the current it's not a current model, but they do have a black ZEEKR 7X there if you guys are interested and you wanted to go and see it. They also do have the 001 FR that's still there as far as I'm aware. So those models, whilst they're not delivery models here, they are potentially what cars are coming in the future. At least the 7X is definitely coming. Not too sure about the 001 FR. So yeah, make sure you head down there, check it out, and yeah, if you guys can't make it or you guys are interstate, then have a look at the video, because I've given you guys, I guess, a virtual tour. And that's it for the ZEEKR flagship store. So let's keep moving on. So the next one, I want to talk about Geely, or Geely. The long story short, this one here is all about the expansion of the network. So you can see that Geely has had such an aggressive timeline in terms of opening up all of their dealerships. You know, they've made a massive presence. They've been in the news heavily over the past week and a half to 2 weeks, especially after announcing the $40,000 to $45,000 EX5, and that's just with on-road costs on top, so just a couple of $1,000s to be in a pure EV. And so the purpose of this slide is to show you how aggressive and how quickly they are opening up all of their dealers. So we've got a total of about 22 dealers here. It's been split, thanks to Car Expert, based on most states. So you've got New South Wales up here, you've got Queensland, Victoria on the top right, and then in the other states you've got some over here. So if they're not totally built yet, then they definitely are coming soon, but these are the confirmed locations, which means you'll be able to test drive your cars, you'll be able to purchase the cars, get them serviced there if it needs servicing or any warranty work, and yeah, take delivery of your potential next EV. So there's Geely. Now, onto something more exciting, the Renault 5 Turbo 3e. So, I've given you guys this slide, I've shown you this before. It was an absolutely wild car, and I remember that I ate my words. So back then I showed this to you guys and I said this would be fantastic if it was to come to Australia, and you know what? The following week Renault said that it's coming to Australia. So that's absolutely amazing. Now, previously for the concept model, you can see some of the specs over here. 373 kilowatts, 3.5 seconds to 100, 980 kilograms, and a 42 kilowatt hour battery, which is very, very small. New specs we've got here, it's up to 400 kilowatts worth of power. 0 to 100 expected to be still at the same, and the weight is no more than 1,450 kilograms. Battery is also larger at 70 kilowatt hours, and we do have confirmation that it is now going to be built on an 800 volt architecture platform. So that means fast charging, it's got a decent sized battery, it's got a decent 0 to 100 speed. It's, I guess, getting towards the heavier end at 1,450, but in saying that, the car looks like it's really low. Now again, the photos here are concept pictures, so we'd have to wait and see if there's any updates in the future, and as always, if there is, I'll make sure I bring it to your attention. The car definitely is still coming to Australia. We know that back in, I think it was December, they did open up an EOI, expression of interest, and so that's all we have. We don't know any price at all. The speculation is, though, it potentially could be more than I think it was the last model or the run-out model of the Renault Megane back then, or there was a special edition which was almost $110,000. Speculation is it could top that, so watch your space, guys. But that's the update for the Renault 5 Turbo 3e. Okay, next thing, this is not a brand that you guys hear of a lot. It is a Chinese brand. It's called the Dongfeng Nammi 06. There's the size, so it's not an overly massive car. It is roughly the same size or similar size to a Kia EV3, which we are pretty much getting here somewhere now. Those are the dimensions there on the screen. Now this has been spotted with Victorian plates, so the two over there. Now in terms of dimensions, This is roughly 6mm longer, 18mm wider, and I think it was about 185mm taller than the Kia EV3. Otherwise, dimensions are, I guess, somewhat similar. Now, a little bit about Dongfeng. So I've got some notes here from the Car Expert website. So Dongfeng is one of China's many state-owned car makers and has multiple joint ventures with popular global manufacturers in its home market, such as Nissan and Honda. The Nammi sub-brand was only launched in 2020, and the 06 has so far only been seen in Chinese press shots. So here it is on Australian shores. Now, in terms of pricing, so it's saying that if we convert it to Australian dollars, speculation of roughly $21,700. Apparently this is going to be revealed in more detail at the Shanghai Motor Show, which is happening, I think, in April, in next month, where we would find more information there. Potentially nothing confirmed for Australia yet, considering these ones are just, I guess, test vehicles here in Australia. And yeah, interesting times. Another Chinese brand that's potentially coming, so we'll have to see how this one plays out. Okay, let's keep moving on. I am very excited about this one. This actually just got approved this afternoon. And by approved, I'm talking about ADR approvals. So guys, Hyundai's brother of another mother to the Kia EV9, the IONIQ 9, has been ADR approved. Dimensions are there. Now, I've taken this all of the ADR approval, so this is based on what it's been approved on. So, 5.060 meters long. It's not overly large. It is over 5 meters, but you have to understand this is a 6 or a 7-seater car. So those are the dimensions there. It's not too wide, it's not too tall, so that's fantastic. It's got a pretty decent sized battery, 110.3 kilowatt hours. I don't know based on that if it was LFP or NMC. My gut feel is it's probably an NMC battery. Don't quote me. It wasn't on the ADR approval. We do have 3 key variants coming along with 6 models in total. So how it works is there's basically a long-range 2-wheel drive, long-range 4-wheel drive, performance 4-wheel drive. From the 3 variants, there is 6-seater and 7-seater versions, hence why I've said there are 6 models total. Now, the long-range variants essentially have a 19-inch wheels, and the performance spec has 21-inch wheels, so 2 inches bigger. So I would dare say the 19 is definitely going to be a lot more comfortable. And judging by the photos that you see there, that does look like those are going to be 19-inch wheels in that picture. And also based on the ADR approval, it looked like there was only one option, which is a sunroof. And based on some of the concept photos in the past, that's what the sunroof may potentially look like. Don't quote me for that. That was not on the ADR approval website. However, this top left and this bottom right one was a part of the ADR approval submission. So what does that mean? That means we should definitely be seeing this car very, very soon. It was already spotted once on a plane or somewhere on a plane, or that was docking in Australia. So there is at least one going around at the moment. And since it's been ADR approved, there definitely would be quite a few hanging around somewhere. So guys, if you've seen one in person, make sure you snap the pictures, post them up on X, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere, tag me, tag the world, and let's get excited for this car, because I think this world, or at least Australia, I think we definitely need more 6 and 7-seater options, EVs. So, personal opinion, but I really do think we need more options for 6 and 7-seater cars. Anyways, enough of that. That is very exciting. That's coming soon. Hopefully I'll get a hands-on one day, and I'll give you guys the honest review. Anyways, let's keep moving on. I now want to talk about Tesla Model Y. You guys probably already know a lot about it. The long story short is there is now the non-launch series that you can order. So the pricing's over here. Now, I've already done a full video looking into the comparisons and the specs and what you get, what you don't get, and all of that. So make sure you go and watch that video if you're interested in that. So I'll give you the short summary. The short summary is between the non-launch series and the launch series, it's about $4,500. So what you need to bear in mind is, for the launch series back then, you had these wheels down the bottom, as opposed to the standard wheels up here. Now these wheels obviously in the launch edition was already included. Also included in the launch series was any color at no additional cost. So if you are getting a white base model with nothing else, then you're definitely saving money at most $4,500. If you start to change it up, or you want the different wheels, or you want a different color, that $4,500 gap starts to close down. And so when you talk about the long range, don't forget the long range also included acceleration boost, which from memory was a couple of $1,000, and so that closes the gap even more. So in some instances, depending on how you spec your long range, you'd be paying more than what the launch series was. So it's unfortunate if that is something that you wanted to get. Anyways, that's it for the Model Y. If you guys are getting one, make sure you use my referral code. I'm not too sure if you do get anything, but when I did click on it, it did say that your referral code has been applied. So hopefully you guys get something, but we'll have to see. So as I said, if you guys want to get one, make sure you use a referral code. If you don't have one, feel free to use mine. I'll drop it in the description box down below. And let's keep moving on, because we have more news on the Model Y. So instead of Juniper, there's a new codename, E41. So apparently they are making a lighter version, which potentially has a 20% lower price tag. Now this could potentially be something similar to what they did in Mexico, which was, I guess, a whole, they stripped out a couple of things, they changed the materials in the car, and they could offer a much cheaper price. So they're saying here that this is initially going to be produced in Shanghai, and then later it'll be assembled in US and then Germany. So we don't know if this is 100% going to come to fruition. I mean, knowing Tesla's past and some of the leaks and rumors here, it's potentially going to come, or there is a good chance it's going to come. But who knows? Watch this space. A lot of speculation at the moment. People saying that because the slide that we've just gone through, the non-launch series, people are saying that the price gap wasn't big enough in terms of the drop. So potentially that's leaving space for a new one like this one, which, you know, you never know. It could actually be something like what people have been wanting, which is the long-range rear-wheel drive. So you get a little bit more range, you still retain the lower price tag because it's single motor, and everyone's happy. So who knows? Anyways, watch this space. That's all the news we have on Tesla. So now let's keep moving on. Okay, the Cupra Born VZ, the hot hatch. So you can see here that it's unfortunately pushed back to pretty much the end of the year. So it was due to be here May, which was actually just in like 2 months time. Pretty impressive specs, right? For a small hatch, 240 kilowatts, 545 newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 not overly quick or amazing at 5.6 seconds, but nonetheless in a small car that's going to feel really, really quick. And it also does have a decent sized battery at 79 kilowatt hours, so hopefully you get some good range. And yeah, it's exciting to see that the hot hatches are coming in EV form, because I love a good hot hatch. However, it's disappointing to see that this has now been pretty much kicked down the end of the road towards the end of the year. So fingers crossed there's no further delays past that, or fingers crossed actually that the timeline's going to shift again and they're actually going to bring that forward. Not something that's potentially likely, but we can only hope. So that's the news for the Cupra Born VZ. If you guys were waiting for a hot hatch, you will now have to wait even longer. Okay, let's jump over to Smart Hashtag 1. Now, it only seemed like yesterday that the Smart Hashtag 1 and Smart Hashtag 3 was released. Realistically, it was actually only last year. But you can see here, it's now got powertrain upgrades. So now it's got a new motor, which is this code over here, which is 250 kilowatts. And that is also the same motor that is used in the ZEEKR 009. So it's got a 50 kilowatt increase, which is fantastic. And then the Brabus version, it also adds a front-mounted electric motor, which is 365 kilowatts total, which is also an extra 50 kilowatts over the previous version. Fantastic. More power is always better as a car enthusiast. Now, minimal exterior changes for the regular variants, which essentially is newly designed wheels, and they're 235/50 R18. So they are pretty thick profile at 50. So I dare say it would be quite comfortable to be driving that. And then the one over here for the Brabus, you've got slightly more comprehensive updates. They've got a subtle approach limiting the red accents to the front lower skirt, which you see over here. Side trim over here, and rear diffuser, I don't have a picture here, but it would just probably be down the bottom. Now, besides the power increases, I don't think and a bit of the styling changes, there's not much more that we've seen. So it kind of seems like it's more of a facelift as opposed to a total change in the model. So yeah, hopefully this new model comes to Australia soon, because now that we kind of know it's been selling here for, I don't know, less than a year, there's a new one coming. I'm sure that everyone's going to be starting to think, oh, you know, I'm going to hold off buying a smart hashtag one because I know there's a new one coming around the corner. And it's not that it might come around the corner, you know, they are having one in China, so there's a high chance obviously that that's going to come over to here as well. But either way, that's the news, and let's keep moving on. So now I want to show you guys the MG4, the new version of the MG4. So dimensions there, the one thing that I thought was odd was that power is actually going backwards, so we're actually getting 5 kilowatts less than the outgoing model. Maybe it's something to do with efficiency, so it's lower power but it's also better efficiency. I don't know, I'm only speculating. The X Power, the top spec, still looks like it's got the same power there. It's got an LFP battery, we don't know the capacity yet. And this is the official light purple color. What they're saying here in terms of some notes, it adopts white colored pillars and a roofline. The front end of the MG4 integrates LED headlights and a sporty bumper with a trapeze shaped air intake. It's also got sculpted fenders which visually expand the MG4 EV, and the charging port sits to the left front fender of the car, which is pretty much over here. So, what do you guys think? They did sell a lot of these cars earlier on in the year with all of the run-out sales, so if this is a new one that's coming, I'd be keen to see the hotted up version of this, which is the X-Power, and how that's going to look. Exciting times ahead for the MG brand. Okay, so let's keep moving on to the last key update, which is BYD Megawatt Chargers. 1000 kilowatts. How crazy is that? Who would have thought? So on March 17th, they released the 10Z megawatt charging suitable for passenger electric cars with the 1000 volt high voltage system, and they can charge 400 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. 2 kilometers of range per second. So I actually have a video here that hopefully I can hit play and show you guys. So you can see the power down over here. Look at that, 1001 kilowatts. Amazing. And it's even though it's not 1000 technically, you know, it went down to 999, now it's 1001. Look at the percentage increase. That is nuts. Anyways, I won't let you guys sit here and watch the entire thing, but if I scroll through, you can see like it literally is charging that quick. Even though this is now down to 700 something, at 40 something percent, that is still extremely impressive, guys. And then I've got one more for you here. This is just another one of the actual vehicles. So this is the BYD Han L, and this does have the 1000 volt platform. So that's the car there. So we want to look at the bottom one over here, where it says 1002. So you can vaguely make out the number. How was that? 1000 kilowatts, 1 megawatts, we're there. But it's funny because in Australia, I think the ones we've been seeing heaps lately is 350 kilowatts coming up. And then here you've got our Chinese friends making 500 kilowatts, 1000 kilowatts now. And we're still on 350 here. Not that our cars can support them here, but you know, it just goes to show how quick their innovation is in China compared to I guess us over here and what we could potentially get Either way, I know it's totally different markets, but it is technology that is obviously around the corner and is live, happening now overseas. So it just shows what's to come in the future, which is absolutely exciting. And so, having said all of that, that takes us to the end of this week's show. As always, if you guys have stayed through the entire thing, thank you so much. I totally appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you do give this video a thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I love doing this for you guys. I love doing the news for you guys. It gets me excited. I love hearing about everything new. And I just feel like this was a perfect segment because it always allows you to find out the key things that are happening in the EV space in Australia over the past week. Either way, my name's Roland. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon for more content. Take care.